Okay, so I have a theory. Every character Vin Diesel plays is actually the same character. He's like a Highlander who has moved all through time and space. And so that explains why it's always the same character. So every XXX film, it's actually Don Toretto, who is actually Witch Hunter. It also explains why he has those magical abilities he demonstrates in all of his movies, including but not limited to the Fast franchise. Because what they're doing with cars is wizardry.
Well, I mean, A, it's wizardry.
Technomancy,
but
I don't know what you call it now.
He's also sustained more mortal injuries than anybody else, like that you can name.
God, yeah.
Yet he keeps waking up from them the same way a Highlander would.
Same way, yeah. I think it's pretty solid. So we're gonna talk about the Skorne Errata.
You mean Christmas? You mean Skorne Christmas?
Well, Christmas just passed.
See, well, you've got Christmas. Then there's like the Ukrainian Orthodox Christmas, and then there's the Skorne Orthodox Christmas, and that's just passed. We're all happy. We are celebrating. We will have feast and torture days.
Torture days.
Great.
Lots of wine. I'm assuming.
Sure.
Roast beast. That's for sure. There will be many a beast a roasting over the
and slaves.
Okay, fine. True.
They're not really people.
In the Skorne Empire?
They're slaves. Of course they're not.
Anyways.
Well, that got dark.
That got really dark. But you're just really happy about the Skorne Errata, I guess.
Yes, I am.
There have been a lot of... I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a group of wargamers so happy as people in, like, Skorne Facebook groups and stuff like that.
Well, especially because, like, when you look at the sodium content of the Skorne Facebook group since Mark III dropped, it's been through the fucking roof.
It's like Powerade, man, that shit.
No way. Like, it's
full of sodium, potassium,
it would literally be like taking a fistful of salt, taking an eyedropper, dropping 2 drops of water on, and just being like, look, it's electrolytes. Ow. It's been so fucking salty ever since Mark III dropped, and, you know, they didn't get any of the bullshit Retribution stuff, or Kador Mad Dog spam, or any of the power lists, and so that group was so salty. And even in the lead up to the errata, there was so much battered wife syndrome going on, where they're just like, you know, I know the Privateer Press is giving us the errata, but there's no way we're going to keep this build. Like, Makita 2 is going to get nerfed, because this is like our only build that isn't pure horse shit.
So the reality was that the Makita build that you're referencing
got better. She got better.
Nerfed so hard it came all the way around again.
Yes.
Being, like, better than
maybe it was nerf, playtest, buff, and we're here.
It was,
I don't know what it was, but no, like I said,
good.
It's a very interesting and it's a very good errata. I mean, as a Skorne player, I love every bit of it. As someone who's not super competitive into War Machine, I don't know how this will affect metas. I don't know if I can say that Skorne is a top-tier faction. But for the first time in Mark III, and I love Mark III. I played more Mark III than Mark II. But for the first time in Mark III, when I am trying to build a list, I am overwhelmed with options. You know...
How many lists have you built? So yesterday, while War Room was updating and you were anxiously waiting for it, from that time when the update was complete to right now, like this moment right now.
Probably 11 or 12 different lists.
12 different
lists. I've deleted a lot of them because I'll make a list and I'll be like, this is... and I'll delete it. But as someone who owns all of Skorne and who is trying to paint all of Skorne, like I said, it's one of those things. I am overwhelmed with choice, and I wasn't 2 days ago. You know, 2 days ago, we kind of had our stable of like 4 or 5 Warcaster, warlocks that were not awful, and, you know, and some had really good things going for them. And even within that 4 or 5 warlocks, 2 of them had very streamlined, like, builds where it's just like, this is the only way this warlock is good. This is the only way this warlock is good. None of that's there anymore. And so that is part of the reason why I'm liking it so much, is there are units I haven't considered since Mark III dropped 7 months ago that I'm looking at and saying, hey, I need to paint these now. These actually get put on my painting desk.
Okay, so that's a really positive kind of approach to it. I mean, as a Skorne player, you're probably, like, you're probably a little more biased because a lot of your stuff has been rather underpowered, underwhelming.
Listen.
What would you say has had kind of what unit or build or whatever would you say has been most effective, like the best jump, the biggest jump?
I think the biggest jump has to be Lord Assassin Morghoul, or Morghoul 2 if you're gonna number it. 2 days ago, this caster was hands down the worst caster in all of Skorne. I mean, he didn't do anything, really. He didn't benefit his army. He wasn't a battle group caster. Despite a title of Lord Assassin, he was just the absolute fucking worst at killing casters. Like, he couldn't get there. Now, with all of the changes and tweaks that he's had, and all of it's fairly minor stuff, you know, a point here, an ability there, hey, we changed this spell he doesn't use, we gave him this because now he's Fury 6, like, fairly minor stuff that all had a huge impact to the point that Morghoul 2, just judging on my anecdotal evidence of what's appearing in the Skorne group and friends I know that play Skorne that we've been talking, one of the more popular casters in the entire faction right now. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that he is finally has rules that represent his title of Lord Assassin. He actually poses a credible assassination threat.
Okay.
And he's probably the best caster model in the entire range.
You
know, so just like you combine those two elements, and his boost in popularity is just incredible.
You commented on something that was really interesting, because I asked you about this yesterday, and you didn't quite know how to answer it. I said, how much does these new rules feel Skorne-y? How do they... And what I was getting at was, how do you find that they reflect the kind of the lore and the fluff of the game, or the universe, and how that translates to the game?
I think that's very... So, a lot of the things that they've done, I think, are really Skorne-y. Now, to frame that, you kind of have to understand two things about Skorne. One, the culture is all military all the time. Everything is about militaristic perfection. You know, we're going to be the absolute best we can, and they're all specialized. So it's just like, we're going to be the absolute best sword fighters. We're going to be the absolute best pikemen. We're going to be... And, like, everything is built through that with the Huxnune Code. The other thing is understanding their magic. It is similar to Crixian kind of necromancy, but it's called mortithurgy, and basically it works through flesh molding and pain. You know, and that's why it's similar. Like, it's definitely, like, dark side magic here. Like, this isn't... Like, the Skorne are not friendly, happy people.
Nobody in the Skorne Empire has a Patronus.
No. All of their Patronuses is like torture porn. It's crazy. So, like I said, it just, you know, knowing those two facets of Skorne, you then have to kind of look at all of the changes. And I think a really good example of this is Naresh. Now, Naresh is absolutely all into the self-flagellation and self-mutilation side of mortithurgy, and he uses that pain that he inflicts on himself to fuel his power. All of his abilities, like his feat, ends up hurting his own war beasts, which makes them stronger because he's channeling that magic and can heal him. Like, it's sort of this whole package. As a caster, he was fine as is, okay? Everything about Naresh worked. In the errata, he got one field marshal ability, which fundamentally doesn't do anything, because when you look at all of the other changes that they got, they basically gave him a field marshal ability that is the same as a free ability they gave Beast Handler. So this is not game-breaking, but it completely fits the fluff of that mortithurgy, because basically now I think it's like Field Marshal Pain Channeled or something. It's Pain something, but basically just like, oh, all of your beasts, if they're hurt, get free charges. But I can give free charges. So again, we're not looking at something that's pushing power levels over the top. It's a nice to have that is fluffy and fits that Skorne mechanic without getting pigeonholed into the same, oh, you think he's good with swords, we're better with swords.
I really like that, though. I think that like, tuning up characters to try to make them fit that universe better is a really great thing. When the theme lists released last week,
yes,
I asked you about them. You're like, I don't know. This whole malaise of waiting for.
Oh my god!
Errata
Well, that was the thing. You're like, what do you think? I'm like, I don't care. I want the errata.
What do you think now?
Okay, so I'm still not super impressed with it, and part of that has to do with the fact that when you're looking at the Skorne theme force, and that's the only thing that I'm going to look at because I've heard lots of great things about other theme forces, but just talking Skorne, the 2 units that you do get to take as a Skorne player within this theme force, as being Venator Reavers and Venator Slingers, both got really cool buffs that also help differentiate them from each other, which is great because these are the literal only 2 units you can take. I'm still frustrated at it. Like, I think that it is a good theme now, but it's not something that I would ever take until the Venator Dakar solo is out. And what's extra frustrating about this is we have had a card and rules for the Venator Dakar since Mark III dropped 7 months ago. And we know, based on the release schedules, that he's probably not coming out until at least June. So we're saying, look, this is a solo that benefits your shooting units. Here are his rules. Wait a year, or more, who knows. And hey, here's a theme force where you get to take free solos that aren't out yet. And you're just like, fuck off.
Well, there's that salt you were missing.
Well, no, it's one of those things where it's just like, right now...
They're probably... Okay. Probably working on the Desert Hydra.
Oh yeah, listen.
Let's be honest. This is what
I had to wait over 2 years for a Desert Hydra. Waiting a year plus for a Venator Dakar is not outside the Skorne norm, if you will. Again, I think the theme force is okay, but until that solo is released, it's not something I would ever even consider playing. And I think that's the problem right now. Is their big thing that they said was like, hey, we want to make sure that every single faction gets theme forces because it's not fair for some factions to have them and other factions to not. So this way, everybody gets theme forces. It's a level playing field. And then the Skorne one, it's still not worth taking because a literal linchpin of that theme force doesn't exist. So, I mean, I guess, I'm still, it's still Skorne Christmas over the errata, but Privateer Press needs to understand that Skorne may as well not have a theme force without that model.
But I mean, I think that's common though. That's common where like the theme forces will come out. Most people will be like, yeah, and some people will be like,
you are right. It is absolutely common when you look at the 9 different factions. Actually, I think 10 theme forces. Of the 10 theme forces, 9 of them are 100% playable right now, and Skorne is not.
Oh my god. Oh, victim.
No, but like I said,
it's the pain that drives Skorne players.
Absolutely.
Just like the
again, it's weird because in all the command books, we're seeing 2 theme forces get released, so we know that there is another Skorne theme force because our command book was supposed to be out in March, but this errata pushed it back.
Yeah.
Totally understand. I know that second theme force exists. I just don't understand why they released this one when we do not have a literal key linchpin piece of it. Again, it comes down to the fact of, despite how good it is, and I like it, I have built a couple lists with casters that use it because it looks great on paper. We can't field it without that Venator Dakar. It is a literal linchpin here for how much our armies are restricted. So we're not going to take it without it, and that's why I'm just like, why would you release a theme force that relies on a model you haven't released instead of just saying, hey, let's give them this one instead?
Maybe people are proxying stuff. I'm just saying, you have the rules, you have the cards, how hard? How hard?
Right.
That doesn't mean you can't play, you have the card, you have, like, the rules. You of all people don't have an extra Skorne something that could work.
I might have 20 or 30.
Yeah, so...
No, but again, like,
I understand.
But you can't go to a steamroller, and you can't go to any events, or play Masters, or play any of the things that you can. Basically, all of Privateer Press's organized play formats do not allow for the basic proxying of models, even if they're unreleased.
Of course, but... For those of us who play this game for fun... For those of us who are looking for something.
Are there people who play War Machine for fun?
Well, I certainly am not playing to win.
Touche.
Maybe I'm playing to win the wooden spoon. But, I think that for me, I like the idea of having theme forces, if only to try new things and encourage people to try builds that they wouldn't normally, that might be why. Like, you may not understand it from a competitive gamer standpoint. Your 40K is showing, by the way, so hard. And I think that's probably part of an element. I think that I'm not going to say that I haven't seen proxying happen in War Machine. I mean, I'm not going to say that I haven't...
Yeah, but the proxying we've seen is where models that do exist and could have been purchased just weren't, and instead this guy is this, okay?
Okay, I've seen people proxy hills for pieces of paper, so
yeah,
don't talk
War
to
Machine
me about
loves
that.
2D terrain because War Machine gamers don't like
terrain?
the hobby and terrain.
No, don't say that. I think that the precision of the game, when you're playing in competitive environments, that's a thing. But we're not competitive gamers, so for me, it's baffling why you would have a piece of paper that says forest on it and not actually have a forest. But that's my personal standpoint.
Well, at that point, why not just have bases on there and just say like Titan?
And I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna comment because that whole subject matter just makes me so salty.
Oh my God,
could be
right?
saltier than any of this.
But again,
to
to me, that's the same thing though.
Yeah.
Like whenever, because I totally understand the desire for precision with 2D terrain because fundamentally models aren't going to slide. You might not accidentally bump it. It's going to lay flat. It's not going to get dragged. All of these great benefits, but fundamentally, I'm playing a game with miniatures, and I want this to look like a game, and I want it to look like a miniature game. And if I want that level of precision, and I want to make sure, let's change the game to a fucking hex board, and let's play a board game because they're going to be way more precise.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, even if you're trying not to cheat with your measuring, I will guarantee that every single time you move a model, you are cheating either you or your opponent by like 1/8 of an inch, because that's just how perspective works.
That's
so if I'm going to be moving a model in a very imprecise manner, just fuck the hill, guys.
It is what it
Put
is.
a hill there.
Until we can all afford projection-based tables on huge LCD screens that are really amazing like that do the pre-measuring for us. Like, this is just the nature of the beast.
Absolutely.
But I think that in terms of home play, in terms of like playing for fun, imagine that people do that. I think this is my approach to the theme list, right? Like, I understand that. I think that it's a fun thing to try and just try out. So what is your overall impressions of like the kinds of rules updates we've seen in the last like month or so between all the the erratas, the theme lists, and this obviously really huge
Skorne Orthodox Christmas.
Yes. So, listen. I want to keep the Makita-miss.
Right. Merry Makita-miss, everyone.
Merry Makita-miss, everyone.
I'm gonna mark it on the calendar. We are gonna celebrate Skorne Orthodox Christmas next year. Anyway. I think it's great. So one of the things that Privateer Press has done recently is they vastly increased the number of playtesters that they have. And what we have seen out of the January errata, which actually came out in December, because the theme forces as well as this Skorne errata, is it feels like it's a lot tighter. Now, I know that there are some people that are unhappy with some of the changes made to factions within the January errata, but for all of you Karchev Mad Dog spam players, have both of them because you ruined the game.
You ruined the game.
So it's fine. I don't care that you got nerfed. Go fuck yourselves. And I hope it's not even pleasurable. That's how we feel about you if you are upset about the lack of Karchev Mad Dog spam.
Ouch.
No, but like I said, It seems to have worked, all of these errata changes. And again, I have the huge caveat that I don't play competitively. I'm not trying to make the WTC teams or even... Listen, when I go to a steamroller, my goal is to go 50-50, but I know I'm going to win one game and lose every other one. That's just how I do. So keep this, just contextualizing it, but it feels like all of the changes are good ones. From the errata, we've had some minor tweaks that are bringing over-the-top power more in line, because again, even though they changed both Karchev and Mad Dog, staying on this example, yes, they nerfed that one fucking build. Karchev is still an incredible caster. The Mad Dog is still an incredible fucking jack for its points. So, great, you can't tweak the fuck out of this one abusive loophole, but that doesn't mean that they've ruined this caster, or they've ruined this jack, and they've ruined the faction as a whole. All they've done is kind of tweak those down, tweak some things up, you know, and that's what it really felt like throughout when you were reading all of the January errata stuff. Theme Forces came out, and again, there are some that kind of leave you perplexed going, okay, that is a theme force, yes, but like the restrictions don't feel like they're worth the benefits. Great, there are other theme forces that are incredible. Convergence of Cyrus players have been rejoicing over that theme force. Legion players loving their theme force. So, again, like it is a very give and take kind of thing, and that's what I really like about War Machine, because there are going to be some players that look at whether it's a theme force or whether it's the errata, where they're just like, this is bullshit, Khador's unplayable, but everyone else doesn't feel that way. And same with the theme force, where you might think this is the greatest theme force in the world, and the other circle player thinks it's crap, and they're never going to use it because of reasons.
But that just that demonstrates how variable, even within a faction, playstyles can be. And I really, like, that is one of the selling elements of this game to me. So I appreciate that. How many years did we spend playing 40k where everyone had the same goddamn list? You only needed to know someone's army in order to know what they were taking.
Listen,
like,
I knew that
like
there was a period of time for 3 years playing quote-unquote competitive 40k, where if you play Imperial Guard, I knew you had Leaf Blower. I knew it. Like, it was just, there was no other build. That was what you had.
Yeah.
That's not the case. Even when we look at the SKORNE errata and back to anecdotal evidence, so far in the last 24 hours, I think is all that this errata has been out. There have been posts proclaiming, I think, 5 different SKORNE casters to be the best in faction now.
I love that!
And that's exactly it. It's just like, we went from, like I said, there was about 4 or 5, 2 of which were gimmicky all to hell, that were solid, stand on their own, you know, easily top of faction casters. And now we've gone to a place where when I was posed that question by my friend who doesn't play SKORNE, I was just like, I went through it, I'm like, you know, there's like 10 or 11 casters now that you can easily make the argument and say, this can be best in faction. And I think what I love about that is it means there isn't a best in faction. There is no Haley 2 in SKORNE anymore. There is no one caster that you can say, every single Signar drop is going to have Haley 2. Unless it's you because you like horses, but every other one, like, you're just like, are you kidding me? There is no caster that is that good in SKORNE because they're all kind of playing at the same level now, and that's never happened.
I think that rebalancing, though, like, that's been something they've been working on through the entire...
Yeah, absolutely.
For the entirety of this edition, right?
Well,
like,
that was their Mark III goal, was for
goal.
Everything to kind of get leveled down to the same level, and of course you're going to have Denegras and you're going to have Haleys that rise to the top because they're just kind of the best at what they do. But
I think they're also just... They're generally more accessible, right? Like, so a lot of the lists I build, reason why I play horses and lots of cavalry is because I like the way they play. They are very reactionary, and they don't... There is no way you could play them in the same way every game. You cannot... There's no prescriptive way. There are a lot of lists that can be played in a prescriptive way, and because of that, they tend to be more favored. I think, just because of the way I've seen a lot of people play Haley, it's very similar.
Yeah.
And that's just your tastes, right? Do you want to play that game? Do you want to hone your generalship style to be a specific type of approach, right? And that's what it is.
Oh, for sure. And one of the really cool things that I've noticed, again, it's always going to be about my SKORNE to this video.
Yeah.
Whenever you talk to people and they say, oh, well, you need to tech for Signar, which means, you know, you're going to probably have Haley and it's going to be lots of guns. You have to tech for Khador, so you need armor cracking. the fact that Skorne has so much diversity at the top of the faction now, and every one of those casters is different, is even when it comes to playing against Skorne, how are you going to do it?
Yeah.
Because Makita 1 and 2 are both hard zone control attrition casters. You've got beast casters like Xerxes 2 now. You've got assassination casters like Zadesh and Morghoul 2. You know, you've got beast brick casters. And all of those all just kind of sit on the top of the faction. So it really is take what you want to play. And for the first time, like, you can play Skorne competitively and still take literally anything that you want to play, which means that trying to tech against Skorne because all Skorne lists do X just isn't the case. You know, there is no Wormwood, there's no Haley. I'm going to come back to that because that's a huge deal. And honestly, after seeing this, I'd love it if every faction got a Skorne treatment where they got a really long playtest and a lot of sort of options to just kind of filter it out to the point where everything is great.
I mean, I think that the demand for that from the player side is a lot less than it was for Skorne, and that was reflected in the sales numbers too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I mean, I think right now with this errata, with this update, they're not looking at like attracting new players to Skorne. What they're looking at is reintegrating the people who got pushed away. And kind of disinterested in the faction because the rules just didn't reflect what they were looking for.
I also think that like reintegration is right because I think that if I played I do play War Machine, but if I had a friend saying, "Hey, I want to get in, what faction should I play?" Of course, you're going to go through the normal questions like, "What do you want to do? Do you want this? Do you want that?" Etc. Etc. But for the last 6 months, even people giving recommendations wouldn't consider Skorne. Because Skorne, like, again, War Machine is a brutally hard game to start. You have to understand that you're going to lose because you don't understand your army, you don't understand your opponent's armies. You have to spend your time to figure out how the game works, how your list works, and then you have to get familiar enough with the environment to know, oh, this is what Haley 2's feat does. This is what Denegra 2's feat does. This is what... Like, you just have to know those things. And until you have that experience, you're going to lose. But before yesterday, playing Skorne was just saying, you know what, you're going to lose a lot longer because your faction just doesn't have the tools.
Yeah.
Now we do.
I think that's really cool. I mean, I think as a whole, when I talk about War Machine and I talk about bringing players in, War Machine isn't always a game I recommend for first-time players into miniature war games. It's just not the thing. But it's a lot like, to me, the parallel I draw is to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. When you first start doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you just get choked out a fuck ton. You get armbarred a fuck ton.
You're like, I didn't even know you could choke me with what I'm wearing. Yeah, but there we go.
There we go.
Tap.
It happens, and it's not until you know, first of all, what you can do, and then what other people can do to you, that you actually start getting good. And that just comes through a lot of time getting choked out.
Yeah.
You learn to tap really well. That's War Machine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're the right kind of person, that's great. I think that when you get to the point of talking about Skorne, not everyone is going to want to get choked out for that much longer, right? When you're watching other people, you start with get what feels like better faster than you. That can be a really frustrating and disenchanting thing. I like that has changed. I also like the fact that Skorne got a great battle box with the new edition. The caster in there is really great. I want to see more of those boxes moved because I think that's a really great way to get into the faction. So yeah, that's kind of what we're thinking. I'm really excited about War Machine this year. We're going to be playing a lot of War Machine. I know for myself, we are going to AdeptiCon. Yay! You can probably find us in the Iron Arena if we're not playing other games. Yeah, I've got a lot of time open, and I'm making myself pretty available. So if you're interested in getting a game in with Nathan and I, we're probably not gonna say no.
Yeah, because that's one of the things is neither of us signed up for any of the War Machine events proper because we're not looking to play Iron Gauntlet or Champs or Masters or any of that stuff. It's just not us.
It's not us.
instead, what we focused our events on with AdeptiCon was our smaller games that don't really have communities nearby.
Yeah.
Which leaves a lot of our time open because a lot of these are like, it's a 3-hour skirmish tournament. Yay, super small.
Yeah.
And so a lot of that time we were just going to hang out in the Iron Arena, play games, have fun, drink, because it's AdeptiCon.
It's going to be a great time.
And I think 2 years ago when we were there, Privateer Press did have a drink cart.
Oh, it's amazing. Anyways, I'm really excited. Hopefully we'll see you there. Let us know in the comments what you think about the errata, the new updates, the releases, if you're keeping Makita and Makitamus.
Absolutely.
I'm really interested to hearing you disagree with Nathan, because I don't know if you heard, there were some strong opinions raised earlier. But yeah, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate it, and let us know what you want to see us talk about in the future. We might do some other stuff. All right. Ciao.
Cheers.